Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to our Friday night huddle. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Mo.
Come on,
Good
take
evening.
those.
Aloha, Mo.
Aloha, all the way.
How's it going, Mo?
How's it going? Hey, Corey, how's it going? Good to see
If I was
everybody
any
on the.
better, I'd be you, buddy.
Oh, no, stop
Good
it.
evening,
Stop
good evening, good evening, Mo. Good evening.
Good evening. Come on, let's hear where everybody's calling from. Let's show some energy in the room and let us know. I know we've got Hawaii on the line. You all tell us exactly where you're calling from.
Joe, Tampa, Florida.
Joe, good to see you on the call.
Judah from Los Angeles.
Hey, Judah from Los Angeles. Good to see you on the call, Judah.
Dadakar from Atlanta, Georgia.
Dedicard, good to have you on the call, all the way from Atlanta.
Real
else?
Black, Chicago, Illinois.
Darrell, good to have you on the call, all the way from Chi-Town, the Windy City.
Damien
Elizabeth,
Calhoun.
Florida.
Uh-oh, we got more Florida. I got more Florida. I heard, was that Jill?
No, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Welcome to the call, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Damien from Florida, Tampa Bay.
Damien from Florida. I'm telling y'all, Florida is showing out.
Benny
Miller.
Benny
Benny
Miller.
Miller. Good to have you, Benny. Good
Yes,
to
sir.
have you. Good to have you.
Abdul Razak from Jersey City.
All right, this is Abdul Razak from you said Jersey City?
Yep, Jersey City.
Good to have you. We got people from all over, it looks like it.
And Mo, we have a new person that's joining our team in here as well from Florida. Holly.
Yes, my name is Holly. I'm from Tampa, Florida. Joe
Wow.
invited me on. I'm excited to learn.
Wow, good to have you. Good to have you, Holly, and welcome to the team.
Thank you.
The team, yes. So I'm excited about tonight's call. I'm excited about seeing all of you all that's on the call. I see my brother on here. I guess he don't want to say hi to us, but he's all the way from California. But I tell you about those California people, right? But that's why Florida is represented. But welcome everybody that's on this call tonight. I'm so glad to see you. Listen, tonight is going to be a great call. We've got a great trainer and a great speaker. I've had the opportunity to have Corey on our call before. You guys know this is our Friday night huddle. This is where we get together, we learn and we inspire, and we motivate one another, and we get more information as to what it is that we do. And tonight we're going to be talking about. Tonight we'll be speaking on the workplace wellness. So I've had the opportunity to work with Corey and also Will as well as a consultant to us at Sequoia for the workplace wellness. And so over the last few days, we've had the opportunity to just have a lot of conversations and get down to the nitty gritty about this whole workplace wellness, because so many people are excited about it. They're excited about seeing the opportunity and the potential that lies ahead with this workplace wellness. You guys know only 2% of the companies that's in existence even know that this program exists. So it's really good that you all are in the right place at the right time and in the right season, because this gives us an opportunity to share with many companies all over the U.S. About information that they just don't know that's available as it relates to the IRS tax codes. So, and they figured out a way to pay us, and which is exciting for all of us, especially on a residual basis, which is why you're here. We talked about, Corey and I talked about different ways to make this simple and to simplify it. And so today we got Corey on the line. He's going to give us a good presentation. And Corey, I just want you to talk to our people and, let them know exactly, how do you present this workplace wellness and get it in the hands of the right people? How do we get past the gatekeeper? What exactly do we say? How do we make this $10,000 a month? I know we was crunching numbers the other day and just playing around with it just to make it so simple. And that's why so many people are here today. So the floor is yours, Corey. Welcome to our call, and we're excited to hear from you.
Wow, Mo, I appreciate the warm welcome, and I'm excited to join you all tonight. Tell y'all a little bit about what the opportunity we have in front of us really is and what it really is. There's a lot of folks out there touting wellness programs, but they're not quite offering it like we do because it's no net cost to the employer and to the employees, right? It's a pretty unique product offering. And not only is it no net cost to them, it's probably the only time they're going to offer benefits in any way, shape, or form that result in net positive revenue for the business, right? So there's a few things I do to set up the conditions for when I'm actually going to get on a call and collect that payroll report, right? And Mo, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen.
Unmute yourself, Corey.
There we go. Is that better?
Yep.
So when I'm discussing this with an employer, I don't initially go into the whole explanation of what this is. First, before you get on a call, you need to understand what employers are facing right now and what they've always faced. It's the rising cost of doing business. Every business owner needs to reduce their expenses. I don't care who they are. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Jeff Bezos, they are all constantly trying to reduce their expenses because they want to make more money. It's that simple, right? So if we can reduce FICA taxes, if we can reduce work comp costs, if we can reduce the cost that the employer is sharing and the benefits offering, it's very attractive to them. But we got to understand what their problems are, because if you don't know about what their problems are, they're going to know that you don't really care about what you're offering and how it could benefit them, and they're going to smell that commission breath on you. Right. If they don't care what you know until they know that you care, and they can only know that you care if you know what the problems are that they're facing. So that's one of them, the rising cost of doing business. The second, and probably the biggest, is employees turnover. So I know that the average cost, and everybody should write these few statistics down, the average cost of replacing an hourly paid employee is $4,500 in this country. I don't know about y'all, but if I had 20 employees or 40 employees right now that left, I could go out of business if I'm a small business owner, right? The average cost in the United States for replacing a C-level salaried employee is up to 3 times their annual salary. So it could be a 6-figure salary. You're talking $300,000 to recruit, train, bring that person up to speed, all the dollars that are associated with the hours you're going to have to pay the other employees that are taking on more workload, because that employee that left, their workload is now distributed amongst everyone else. So all those things start to add up, and the time associated to the employer who has to interview, qualify, prospect a replacement for those employees that are leaving is huge, folks. And in the workplace right now, a bigger cost associated than anything else that I've discussed is presenteeism. We're all familiar with absenteeism, people just not showing up to work, but a lot of employees are at work and they're not actually at work because of things that they're dealing with outside of work. So introducing a wellness program that helps them with any mental health issues they're having, helps them navigate the issues that can come up in family life, legal troubles, financial troubles, that addresses the whole person and makes them more productive in the workplace. So knowing those few little things that are causing a burden to an employer and to a business is instrumental in having this conversation, right? Now you know exactly what their problems are. So if you can talk about them, they'll know that you care. And if they know that you care, they'll want to know what you know. So I'll set the call up just, I mean, and it takes seconds sometimes. Once I get a hold of an employer, so you can call a business owner or a business, and there's going to be some gatekeepers normally. A secretary, admin assistant, a VP. I don't go after major corporations or anything like that because, yeah, the savings are great for them. We could save them millions, but less than 5% of businesses in this country have more than 1,000 employees. But what does that tell you? The bulk of the employees in this country are amongst small businesses. And if we save millions for a corporation, yeah, the CEO may put a wine cellar in his yacht, but if we save 10, 20, 30, $60,000 for a small business owner who's putting their kid through college, who may have a medical issue, now you're talking about changing the life of somebody who's in your community that you see and deal with all the time. That's big. To me, it's huge. It's about more than the commission, but the commission is a byproduct of caring about these folks and what we can do for them and their employees, right? So it's a real quick conversation. If a secretary or any kind of gatekeeper picks up the phone when I call, they'll ask me what I want to speak to the owner in regards to. And I'll tell them right out of the gate with the absolute utmost confidence, I'm calling about the payroll taxes. From a place of authority is how I want to say it, right? That's if you have no authority, if you have no confidence in your approach, you're not going to get through to speak to this business owner. So, hi, this is so-and-so with such and such business. What can I do for you? This is Corey. I'm calling about the payroll taxes. I need to speak to the owner, please. As matter of fact as I can be. Well, what do you need to speak to the owner about? I'm calling about the payroll taxes that y'all overpaid on. Y'all are currently overspending. I need to have that conversation with him or her. So once I get through to that employer, I tell them, look, I'm sure they told you. I'm calling about y'all's payroll taxes. I know that y'all are overspending because there's some things that y'all can put in place that I want to explain to you at a later date. You're a business owner. I know you're busy right now, so I'm not going to take up all of that time. But I do want to tell you about these things so that you can take advantage of them. I don't charge anything for implementing what we do. I don't charge anything for consulting and getting you the information. If you do happen to take advantage of our program, that's great. That's how I get paid. But if you don't, you got all the information and it didn't cost you one way or the other. So what's a good time, Thursday or Friday? I always give two choices because the human condition is that we'll take the path of least resistance. If I have to present them with a new equation and they have to come up with new information, I'm going to have some friction there. So I give them a choice, and it makes it very easy when you have only two to choose from. Look at the elections. You know, we all have choices, this one or that one. So what's better for you, Mr. Business Owner, Monday or Tuesday of next week? Well, I'm normally busy on Monday, so Tuesday is probably better. Perfect. Tuesday's good for me. Is morning or afternoon better? Again, two choices, right? I'm giving them the path of least resistance. So once we lock in a date, I'm going to say, great, grab a pen and write this down. And I do not get off the phone and I do not move on with that conversation until he or she has a pen and they're going to write down what I ask them to do. Because if you can cause someone to take a physical action with just your voice over the phone, you are in control of the call. It's a great tip. I learned it years ago in the coin business as a broker. So if they don't have a pen, well, I don't have a pen right now. Why don't you just tell me what you need to tell me and I'll remember it. No, this is important. Go ahead and grab a pen and write this down. So they got a pen and I'm going to say the day and the time that we set an appointment for. Now I know that they wrote that appointment down. And then I'm going to give them my email and say, this is where the invitation for the call is going to come from. Right? I've got my pen handy, Mr. Business Owner, Mrs. Business Owner. What's your email? I take their email down, send them the invitation. And when it's time to get on that call, this is the framework that I use. And the sole purpose that you have on this call is to get the paperwork and reports to generate a proposal. We can get them a proposal. We can show them the money they're saving and what we can do for their employees. It's game over, folks. So the C in closer framework is for clarify. We want to clarify why they're on the call when we get on that 15, 20-minute deal that we scheduled, right? And we know that they're on the call because we called them and we invited them to a call, and you can kind of make light of that. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, there's something that I said that piqued your interest when I called the other day, or you wouldn't be on a call with me right now. What was it? I'm curious, right? I'll say, look, I know you're on the call with me today because I asked you to be, but what part of what I said when I called before really hit home for you? Something piqued your interest. So is it anything about the tax savings or the benefits to employees? I'm just curious as to what it is. And I ask everybody this question and they'll tell me, right? So if I shot at them, there's a program that I want to talk to you about at a later date, take 15, 20 minutes. And there's some ways that I can show you how to reduce your FICA tax liability and offer benefits to your employees. And it's no net cost to either of you. So more often than not, they'll say, well, you know, benefits at no net cost, it definitely piqued my interest, but I'm a little skeptical. Hey, I get it, right? So that's what we're doing with at the beginning of this framework. We're going to clarify why they're on the call. So it's the objective is to identify why the prospect's on the call, what piqued their interest. The key points are to ask open-ended questions, right? And we got to understand their needs, which is how I started the whole call. We got to understand what their problems are. So an example would be, so I know you're on this call, something piqued your interest. Is it about reducing your taxes or employee retention? When they give you that, that's what you have and will ever need, no more, no less, to close this entire deal. They told you right in the beginning what was important to them. And this is what you're going to use to close them later on and get this payroll reports. And the L in closure is label. We want to label them with a problem. So the objective is to identify and confirm what their pain points are. If they told me that it piqued their interest, that the benefits were no net cost and could help with employee retention, I know that they are struggling keeping employees. So I'll say something along the lines of, you know, it's funny you say that. Almost every business owner that I talk to, they say the same thing. Everyone's having the same problems. They want to spend less time looking for good employees that stick around. Is that what you're dealing with now? So I'm labeling them. I want them to wear that problem so that I can solve it, right? Reflect on what they shared, validate their concerns. How am I validating it? You know, I hear that all the time from business owners. Now it's valid. So an example sounds like, so it sounds like you've been struggling with a high turnover rate and the costs associated with that. Is that right? Am I hearing you right? They want to know that you can hear them, right? That you're understanding, that you're listening to them. The O, overview. We're going to overview all the past pain that they experienced. So the objective is to explore that pain in detail. Remember, we're going to take the path of least resistance every time. The key points are discuss the impact of the problem. We're going to share stories of other clients with similar issues. So it sounds like a lot of companies experience high turnover due to inadequate benefits. I happen to know that 54% of employees that leave their jobs are not doing it for more money. They're doing it for better benefits. So that's why it's more important now than ever to avoid the cost associated with those employees leaving by having those benefits in place. And if they're no net cost to you, it just makes sense. So one of our other clients had the same issue. Employees coming in, employees coming out. As soon as they spent all the money and time invested into these people to train them, they were gone. And come to find out they were leaving for better benefits. That's how I know. So we implemented a program like this, and it helped that employer retain those employees, and reduce the cost associated with the turnover. Isn't that great? So you want to ask them these open-ended questions and keep them engaged, right? The S in the closer framework is sell the vacation. We don't go on a trip to Hawaii because of how fun the experience is at the airport, right? You get to the airport, you have to take a cab there. There's the packing, there's everything leading up to that, all the planning. That's not the fun part. That's not why we're going to Hawaii. We're going to Hawaii to have Mai Tais on a beach. We're not going to Hawaii to experience Southwest Airlines or Delta or United. So we want to sell what the vacation is going to look like by presenting a solution that's a path to achieving what they want, right? That solves their problem. We're going to focus on how the program alleviates that pain. And we're going to illustrate all the benefits to it. So it could sound like our program can help reduce turnover by offering really valuable benefits, and it's not going to add any more cost to your company. We implement everything for you. I'm sure you've experienced in your offerings before, chasing employees to get them enrolled or to waive participation. And then there's all the paperwork associated with it. You see, I really want to drag out these pain points with them because I'm going to offer the relief. So and then there's all the costs associated with it. My goodness, I don't know how anybody offers benefits anymore nowadays. It's a wonder that employees are leaving for better benefits, because if I was an employer, I'd avoid the process entirely. So bring them through that pain, drag them through it. It's not going to be fun for them. It's not going to be fun for you, but this is not why we do it. We want to illustrate that we have a real solution to these things, right? So an E, explain away their concerns. We're going to overcome the objections right here. And the key points are to address the concerns about the time, money, or the acceptance the employees may have. There's really only 3 objections. It doesn't matter what you're selling. There's 3. There's time, money, or the objection that someone else has to be there to make the decision. They cast away the blame, right? So we're going to bring that blame right back and get them to make a decision just to get the information. And that's all we're doing on this call. Nobody has to cut a check. They can leave their wallet locked up, right? This isn't going to take long. Just put me in touch with whoever I can collect the documents from, or I'm a liar right out of the gate because I told you I was going to do all the heavy lifting, right? So I understand you're busy. That's why we handle all the heavy lifting for you. Who can I talk to at the organization, at the business? Who handles payroll that I can gather all the information I need so that we can go over a proposal together? I'm going to show you exactly how much you're going to save and exactly how much each employee is going to have to spend on benefits. Fair enough? All right, so that's the closer framework. And I want to kind of show y'all an example of, and I'm going to make this available to everybody as well, of what the conversation looks like. Let me get these things out of the way. Yeah. Oh. If I can make this guy work. Sorry, all these Zoom bars and everything are covering up what I need. I didn't take that into consideration. Here we go. Where did it go? All right, I'm going to stop sharing and I'll share again once I find it, because I think that's part of the problem here. Anybody got any questions so far before I illustrate this little piece?
Not yet.
Right, hey, I must be doing a heck of a job.
Yes, you are.
We're just gonna wait till you finish. We're just gonna wait till you're finished. I got two people up here that's first time, so we're gonna wait till you finish, sir.
All right, here we go. Get back here, meeting, and share screen. Okay. Well, it keeps disappearing for some reason. So I created a chat bot. It is a AI chat bot, and you can have a conversation with it as if you're a business owner or as if, oop, that was it right there. And I don't know how to get to it. Or as if you're an employer. I mean, you can be the agent or you can be the business owner. Well, it is not coming up. So let me try this other way. I'm going to try it on my phone, and hopefully you all can hear what it's saying. Let's try it. Let me change my.
All right, can you all hear me okay?
I can hear you well.
Yeah, you're fine.
Great.
Yes.
You're fine. You're fine.
What you're going to hear is me talking to this AI chatbot that I created, and it'll only answer questions that are accurate entirely. It will not waver one way or the other. It doesn't make up its own information. Let's see if we can do it. Hey, are you ready to do some role playing?
Absolutely, I'm ready. Let's jump into some role playing. Would you like to play the business owner or the agent this time?
I'll play the business owner.
Great. I'll take on the role of the agent. Let's get started whenever you're ready.
Sure, this is Mr. Business Owner. What can I do for you? Standby has to think a little sometimes.
This is Corey from C.L.O.S.E.R. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today. I wanted to connect because we're helping businesses like yours offer valuable benefits to employees without any net cost. What's been your biggest challenge when it comes to employee benefits and retention lately?
No net cost benefits. That sounds a little too good to be true, but we do struggle a little with employee retention. Open, I lost my signal. 1 second. Let's pick up where we left off.
Absolutely. You mentioned struggling a bit with employee retention. Is it primarily because employees are leaving for better benefits packages at other companies, or are there other reasons contributing to the turnover?
You know, it's funny you say that. A lot of it does seem to be because they're leaving to bigger companies that can offer better benefits than I can.
I hear that a lot, and it's a common challenge for many businesses. Larger companies do have the advantage of more resources to offer attractive benefits packages. One of our clients was in a similar situation, losing employees to larger competitors. After implementing our program, they saw a significant increase in employee retention because they could offer competitive benefits without the added cost. I'm curious, Have you tried offering benefits in the past? And if so, what challenges did you face with those attempts?
Yeah, I have tried to offer benefits before, and it's really a struggle, to be honest with you, having to chase employees around and get them to waive or participate. And then the cost of it, if they can't afford it, maybe they don't qualify because of their health. So the participation rate has been low before.
I understand completely. It can be quite a hassle managing the enrollment process, especially when you're dealing with employees who might be hesitant to participate due to costs or health concerns. And chasing down paperwork can be a real drain on your time and resources. Our approach is designed to take that heavy lifting off your shoulders. We handle the entire enrollment process for you, making it as smooth and straightforward as possible. Plus, by freeing up tax dollars, we make benefits more affordable for your employees, regardless of their health situation. To show you exactly how this can work for your business, I just need a couple of things to generate a proposal: your most recent payroll run and a W-4 report. This will let us demonstrate how much we can reduce expenses and how much each employee could save. Does that sound like something you'd be open to?
Yeah, I think I could be open to that. But do you need any sensitive information from them?
No, we won't need any sensitive information like social security numbers or personal health details. The payroll run and W-4 report just give us a basic overview of employee numbers, salaries, and tax details. This information allows us to calculate potential tax savings and show you how much could be redirected toward benefits. We take privacy and security very seriously, so all the information provided is handled with the utmost care. Would you be able to connect me with your payroll person to get those reports?
I think I might be able to connect you. Give me just a minute and we can connect on the back end of the call. But is that all you need?
Yes, that's all I need to get started. Once we have the payroll run and W-4 report, I can generate a detailed proposal for you. I'll need a few days to put everything together. How about we set up a follow-up meeting to go over the proposal? I'm available next Wednesday or Thursday. Which day works better for you?
Wednesdays are normally pretty busy. Let's do Thursday.
Thursday works perfectly. Would you prefer a morning or afternoon time on Thursday?
Morning's good.
Great. How does 10:30 a.m. on Thursday sound?
10:30 a.m. is perfect.
Perfect. I've got you down for Thursday at 10:30 a.m. I'll follow up with your payroll person right after this call to get those reports. Thanks again for your time, Mr. Business Owner. Looking forward to going over the proposal with you then.
Great. Sounds good. I appreciate your call.
I appreciate your time as well. Talk to you on Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Have a great rest of your day.
Folks, it's a heck of a time to be alive, isn't it?
Yep.
What do you think about that, Mo?
I think it's good technology, it's good advice and a good dialogue for sure. And on that note, also, and just also jump in there and just kind of also tell them that, tell our audience that, the number breakdown, like
Yes.
in terms of getting to the utilizing these steps and getting to 10,000 a month. How many deals would they have to do that? We talked about the 333 and 3 plan. Remember that. I want to definitely share that with them as well, and maybe that'll help them in terms of the breakdown too. So that's what they want to hear as well.
Perfect. So I always use the county that I live in Texas as an example, because this is where my clients are in large part, and this is who I do business with. But it's a small county. There's only 2,756 businesses here locally where I live that have between 5 and 500 employees. Okay. If I capture just 10% of the businesses in my little bitty old county in Texas, that's 275.6 businesses. Now, let's assume that they don't all have 500 employees, but they don't all just have 5. And let's go with a good round number that's conservative and say they each got 10 employees.
Right.
Right? So times 275. Now that's 2,750 employees. Y'all's comp is $9, Mo?
$9.20.
Well, if y'all come to Orange, Texas and get just 10% of businesses and they all have only 10 employees, you'll be making $24,750 a month for the life of those enrollments. And if you called, that's pretty good.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Excellent.
This really is the best kept secret in anything you could probably sell right now, short of being in private equity.
100%. 100%. This is better than in a sense better than in residual on real estate. You know, just going through that process. You know, it's an easier way to build that same residual base up. Now, when finding these clients, what do you advise the people to do in terms of going out to obtain these clients? You know, is there a service to gathering, you know, these many people in one place that they can reach out to? Is it the old fashioned going door to door, knocking on doors? What's your best advice to the consultants here to go out and actually obtain these clients?
Yeah, all of the above, really. And, you know, there's websites like Apollo that you can gather business owner information from. I'm down to the cell phone number of these business owners. And I'm talking big businesses and small businesses. Apollo is a good source. HubSpot is a great source and resource for developing leads that you can call. And then I started off in the business in sales on foot and going door to door. So when I'm visiting a client locally, I'll go in and review their proposal with them. But when I walk out of that business owner's front door, I'll look to the left and look to the right. And I know that I can't get back into the truck until I've gone into each of those businesses as a general rule of thumb.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is have a brochure laminated on cardstock. And on the top of it, I'll write sample because I don't want anybody blowing me off, asking me, oh, can you leave us with something and we'll go over it and we'll get back to you. No, you won't. It's a lie. Right.
Right.
So, and I'm not doing them any justice to leave information with them that they're going to interpret based on what they know and not what they don't know. So I bring that in and I say, hey, look, my client next door, I'm sure y'all know each other. You've owned businesses next to each other for some time. I implemented a program for them that's helping them reduce their cost and give their employees benefits, and nobody had to cut a check for it. I'd leave you some information, but this is the last piece that I got right now. And this is what I used to make copies with. It's just a sample, right? So what's a good time next week that I can stop by and visit with you or have you jump on a call with me? Take 15 to 20 minutes and you can leave your wallet locked up because I literally can't sell you anything.
Good. It's good. It's good.
You know, and you can do that just over the phone without stopping in to a business owner to see them in person.
And
You know,
what
just
we,
get a list of businesses and start calling. And as soon as the first business owner you get to, hey, you know, I'm a local person. This is what we do. We offer no net cost benefits to employees and their employer. And for the employer, it's pretty neat because it reduces your FICA taxes or your workers' comp cost if you're in a state that is based off of gross payroll. But really, the wellness program, if y'all don't do anything from this call, an actionable item that we can do, all of us, right after this call, go to amazehealth.com. Look at the wellness program, watch the videos of what that wellness program does. I've designated them as my primary care physician. It's almost unheard of in the healthcare system to have unlimited access to healthcare. And when you go through a maze, it's an application that every employee puts on their phone. They touch one button and you cannot get through there without seeing a doctor. That's the first person you see, the first person you talk to. That's important for many different reasons, but in a wellness program, it's almost unheard of. You're going to jump right in front of a doctor when you push that button. $0 copay, unlimited usage for a doctor, a nurse practitioner, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a licensed therapist that's board certified, any medical professional you could need. The average cost of an emergency room visit in the United States is $2,200. Most of them, 70% or more, can be avoided because they're not real emergencies. Folks, this program only exists because last year, $14.6 trillion was the healthcare spend, and the government forked up a third of that. That's a little over $13,000 per citizen. You can imagine that there's an incentive for implementing a program that helps the federal government reduce that cost and usage. And that's what we do.
And a small business that would have 10 employees is going to be more likely to want to speak to us because, of course, they want to be more profitable. I want to just bring up the other day that we got on a call with a major hospital, Corey and I, and one of the other reps here, Catherine, and this was probably out of our hands. I mean, something that we probably couldn't handle. And I definitely want you to talk about that because, this place has 100,000 employees. So I want people to understand that this program is not really built for that. Okay. So I don't want to have any type of, false information going to anyone. Anything from 2,000 to 5,000 employees is where they're more comfortable at. But and then I'm gonna let you elaborate on that quickly, but staying within that realm and that sweet spot between 10 and 100 employees is that area where you're talking directly to the owner and you're probably on the cell phone with them or what have you, and you're not going through any red tape. If you did that and if you just broke it down under the 333 and 3 plan, basically means that you need 333 employees signed up monthly for 3 months in order to make 10 grand. Okay, so that's 333 employees you need enrolled, and you could do that by finding 32 or 31 companies that got 10 employees.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
10 employees.
that's
It's
a
easier to
much
talk
more
to them.
doable thing.
Very doable because they only got 10 employees. You just got to go out and find these 30 for that month, sign them up. They're going to sign up.
That's exactly. And if you need money today, folks, avoid at all costs talking to an employer with more than 10,000 employees.
Right.
Because they're going to put you through the ringer. They're going to put us through the ringer. That takes us away from production, right? To go through a process with a major corporation. And look, some of my clients are Parker Hannifin and Service Corps International. They serve 80% of the country. But it's not going to do you any good today, tomorrow, or 6 months from now, because that is the length of the process. Not only that, at a time when open enrollment is getting ready to kick off, you're talking about going and finding enrollers that are already have plans and already obligated to groups for enrollment. Where would we get the enrollers even if they did say, absolutely, we want to move forward right now, right? I'm sure we'd figure it out, but I certainly wouldn't want to put you all at risk of being disappointed or let down or discouraged. I'm going to be extremely realistic with you and tell you, you can walk off of the street into a small business owner's business that has employees and have this conversation with them without having to go through a board of directors. And you can take that open to close. I've done it from cold call to enrolled every employee in 6 days. Now you start stacking those up one after the other. Now you're talking about changing the landscape of your family generationally. One business at a time, not one corporation at a time. Right. So it's realistic right there in your community. You have enough to make 6 figures a month. It's unreasonable to think anything else. It's all right there where you are.
And these numbers are just, these numbers that we're discussing is on a small scale. The 333 and 320, that's on a small scale. Within your search, we're gonna definitely find businesses that have 300-400 employees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this is just breaking it down to the smallest denominator, 10 employees. You just need to go get 30 of those in a month. Just go find 30 of those and sign up. You don't have to sell anything. They don't have to buy anything. They just need to know that they have these FICA tax credits available to them so they can save money on the overall cost and their benefit costs. And I like the approach that you're saying, using the authoritative approach, Corey. I'm calling about the payroll taxes. What if the question is, what about our payroll taxes are you calling about?
Yeah, you're overpaying on them. That's why wouldn't I call? I want to show you where you're overpaying.
Excellent. Okay, and then we would go into how many employees, or we would know that beforehand, correct?
Yeah, typically I'll use Apollo or I'll use ProPublica. ProPublica is a website that you can get any government funding information from. So if the government funded it or loaned money, it's going to be on that website. So you can go on there and search for a business if they got a PPP loan and see how many lives that PPP loan covered.
Gotcha. Also, I want our team to know that this particular program is good, because this is going to come up. This program was buried inside of the Affordable Care Act bill that was passed, which is why most companies don't know that it exists. It was buried inside of a bill. So it's under the 125 IRS code cafeteria plan. I believe it was the 105 and the 106 IRS code as well. Is that correct, Corey?
That's right. People will ask all the time, well, why haven't I heard of this? And my answer is always, well, because the IRS doesn't have salesmen.
Yeah.
They just don't. They're not promoting it. They're not going to tell you how to keep more money. They're going to tell you how to give them more money.
And unless you read the 3,000 pages of that bill, you wouldn't know that it existed in the bill.
Actually, 33,156 in a
33,000.
federal register.
Oh my God. So,
I'll do any light reading. Have at it.
So we need to stay under that threshold of comfortably, Corey, what, 13, I mean, just real comfortable, 1,300, 14,000. What do you want us to say?
That'd be great. It's a rare occasion you're going to come across an opportunity where, you know, you've got 1,000+ employees in your pocket anyway.
Okay.
There's only 5% of businesses that have more than 1,000 in this country. So, but I come up with unreasonable equations for myself. It's unreasonable that if I call 50 people a day, 20 people a day, 40 people a day, doesn't matter. Come up with the equation for you. It's unreasonable if I call this many people a day that I won't at least get to talk to this many business owners. And out of that many business owners, it's unreasonable that I wouldn't at least weekly get this many to get the information. And it's unreasonable that if I did that with consistency for long enough, that I could not make 6 figures a month. It's unreasonable.
Right.
I encourage you, figure out what that equation is for you. And if you don't quit, you can't lose.
You can't lose. Come on, guys, the floor is open for questions. Let's ask. forward some questions.
I have
know
a question.
you have got questions. Go ahead, Catherine.
All right, why does it take 3 months?
Why does what take 3 months?
It says you do 333 for 3 months and maintain it.
So, no, that's just my internal strategy of breaking this down to a simplest form, which is we're trying to hit. You're trying to hit $10,000 a month residual. This is how you can hit it. So it doesn't take 3 months to get paid or anything like that. What I'm saying is that just get 333 employees enrolled monthly. You can do that you can find 10 companies with 30 employees. You don't have to find 30 with 10. You can find 10 companies with 30 employees. But so
I understand now.
Using a hub spots and stuff like that is what Corbett was saying to locate these customers. So that's what that means. Just do that for 3 months straight. There's your $10,000 residual. Then repeat that again after you do it. There's your 20,000. Then repeat it again. There's your 30,000.
Okay, I got you.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Daddy Car.
So I just want to review one part of my notes where it said this specific workplace wellness was under the Affordable Care Act, which is a 33,000 page document that was created by the IRS in the IRS code 106 and 125.
So a couple of moving pieces there. So the wellness program was not part of the Affordable Care Act, but the Affordable Care Act mandated that when it comes to a group offering, everyone must be accepted. So that's the reason why I tell employers cost isn't the reason that your folks can't participate, and health is not the reason they can't participate either. So if we remove both of those obstacles, do you think we would move forward and offer this to your employees? Because what we pair with the Amaze Health program is voluntary insurance benefits. They're colonial Aflac style benefits with A+ rated carriers.
And tell them about the different kind. What kind of benefits, additional benefits, Corey, can they expect to receive?
Absolutely. So on average, we see employees free up, have about an extra $150 a month that they can spend on additional benefits. That'll get them a short-term disability policy, a critical illness with cancer policy that pays a lump sum if, God forbid, they're diagnosed with heart attack, stroke, cancer, end-stage renal failure, or Alzheimer's. A hospital policy. We have an accident policy with Boston Mutual. It's the best in the country. If you get admitted to the hospital for anything, $3,000 cash to you, and then $750 a day after that. That's pretty big. If it's ICU, that amount doubles. So health insurance is great. Health insurance is required. But if you're hurt or ill, how many of the employees here can go to work or can miss work because of injury or illness, miss 2-3 paychecks? How many paychecks are they going to miss before they can't make a car note, a mortgage, a rent? Not many. Not many in this entire country. Most people in this country can't write a check for $600 and have it clear the bank. It's very important to have these kinds of things in place for employees. You can't take a Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance card into Walmart and buy groceries with it when you hadn't been able to work for 3 weeks. So life insurance, short-term disability, dental vision, accident, hospital, short-term or long-term disability. I feel like I'm missing one, but several different voluntary benefits through several different standard offerings that are exclusive to our partner from these carriers. Nobody else has these standard offerings.
You want mental health care? What about gym membership? Things of that nature? Is that some of the
So, yeah, Amaze Health. So, I went to the doctor 3 or 4 times a year. It was a lot for me. But I avoided it in large part because of the cost. Now that I got Amaze Health, anytime I have any health concern, health issue, you know, if I get an itch on the back of my neck that seems weird, I'm jumping through that application, and because I know it's not going to cost me anything, I can get information that could be life altering for me. Right? So those costs associated with those things, going to the doctor and all that stuff, the gym, that's your traditional workplace wellness program. This is real access to real health care. It's not just Teledoc. It's not just a gym membership, right? Those things are great, but they don't place or relieve much of the burden from a group health plan. And that's our goal. That's the government's goal. They want to reduce cost and usage on the healthcare system. So if they're offloading half the doctor visits or half the emergency room visits in a year that a group incurs onto a Maze Health, they're reducing the cost of their health insurance. Somebody, Joseph, you had a question?
Yeah, so let me ask you this here. Joe put the question in the chat, and it's a good question, I think. Does the employee have to maintain their insurance in order to stay on the wellness program, their health insurance that they have? So like
So
if they
health,
discontinue their health insurance, do they lose their wellness benefits?
yeah, health insurance is required in order to participate. But if they don't have health insurance, we'll put in what's called a MEC plan, some minimum essential coverage plan, and that makes them compliant enough in the IRS's from the IRS's perspective to participate in a program like this. They got to have the minimum essential health care.
And Clark, when is open enrollment? I heard you say open enrollment. When do they occur? And can you sign people up after open enrollment if they miss that process, that period?
Yeah, that's another reason this is a really unique offering, because traditionally you can only get health insurance unless you've had a qualifying event November the 1st to January. I think it lasted to January 13th last year. So that time every year is when you can get health insurance that you didn't have or change the health insurance that you do have. With what we offer, this cafeteria plan offering, we can do it any time of year. And the open enrollment is the same time every year.
Did you say Amaze Health?
Yes.
How do you spell
Is
that?
Yeah, I was about to say it.
AMAZE. And I'm going through the chat here to see what some of these questions are that I may be
Oh,
missing.
Maze, not Maze. Okay, Maze Help. Okay.
Yeah, like short for amazing.
And did you say Apollo? The
Yeah,
last thing
Apollo
is
is like a lead generation marketing software or online, you know, sales as a service, and you can put in some queries or put in some data points.
Oh, Maze Help.
Yeah, you can put in some search queries or parameters for a specific type of business you're looking for, or a specific area or industry, and it will pull up all those businesses. Um, it'll pull up the information on the staff, executives, their emails, phone numbers, you name it.
Corey, this is Damien. So $9.20 per employee that participates in signing up. Now I know a couple of Zooms ago they were speaking about prescription. They pay $24.99 a month, and they get their generic prescriptions, and that raises the $9.20 to almost $14. Is that correct?
Could you confirm that, Mo?
Say the question one more time.
The Bax RX
So-
program that offers generic prescriptions for free. Sequoia pairs it wellness. I'm not sure what y'all's comp plan is there.
I don't.
Yeah, I believe that's
It's
correct. I remember.
$3.80. It's $3.80 if they add the RX on.
The prescription program. Oh, got it.
Yeah, so put you at $13 a month residual.
That's double digits per employee every single month. I don't know about y'all, but I've been in sales for a long time, and every time you make one, you got to go find another one. There's only a few things you can sell. You keep getting paid for.
over and over, correct.
So yeah, I guess I'll go and see a few people. I'm gonna go see, I go to right here. I said, this is just plain asinine. I have to let my employer, co-workers, neighbors know that I'm continuously being followed. It's uncalled for. It's senseless, and I have been asking for it to stop. So maybe if, I don't know, maybe if I
Ron,
could.
you might want to mute yourself, Ron.
Somebody
Mute
talk and
yourself.
ask a question.
Mute.
That was someone that was unmuted.
Oh,
No worries.
that was a long question. Okay.
I thought it was too.
Okay, now this is good stuff. This is good stuff. Any other questions?
I mean, okay, can we get his personal information?
No.
Yeah, just
That's what
reach
I
out
was gonna ask.
to
Yeah, we
Sequoia
cannot.
and they'll
Yeah,
put
we
you in
cannot
touch with
give
them.
him. We cannot give out his personal information to everybody. Okay, so what we're gonna do is give out a was it gonna be another number, Corey, or email that we're gonna use?
Yeah, you can use Corey at Fidelis.Serve or just go through Sequoia to contact me and contact me that way.
Yeah, and here's the reason why, guys. We don't want a bunch of people bombarding Corey from Sequoia. Okay, so we talked about this the other day. He doesn't mind us reaching out and asking questions, but this is where we have to keep coming in and getting trained so we can become more proficient and be self-sufficient to be able to do this, on our own. Now they're not going to leave us. They're not going to leave us. They'll be able to give us assistance and make sure that when we're selling our clients and going in to do the proposals, that they're going to assist us. Correct, Corey?
Absolutely, definitely. Yeah, the platform that we use, they have a proprietary system. It is licensed. So not just anybody can go out and do this. Anybody can offer voluntary benefits like Colonial Aflac are doing. But one of the reasons that companies like that are trying to have conversations with people in our space is because they hadn't quite figured out all the pieces yet. So that's, just another feather in your hats. Know that, sure, there are people out there that have voluntary benefits for their businesses, right?
That's right.
Colonial and Aflac have been selling benefits like this, like what we have, for years, but employees have to pay for it out of pocket. That's all you need to know. Go to any and every business that's currently offering Aflac or Colonial style businesses or benefits, knowing that employees are paying for it or employers are paying for it, and you can replace it every time.
Hey,
I have a
Corey.
question.
Yes.
Okay, me or Daryl?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Catherine. I go behind you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so why wouldn't you go for both the wellness and the RX at the same time?
You should.
Okay,
I integrate it. I don't offer them separately.
okay, because that makes more sense. If you're gonna do one and sign them up, you might as well do the other one too. They're gonna agree to it.
That's my thoughts on it. And if I don't tell them it's a separate cost either. This
Right.
is part of the workplace wellness program. It's voluntary benefits. It's any generic prescription for free. And then you have access to healthcare, real professionals, one touch of a button.
All right,
I do
yeah,
not
that makes more
separate the
sense
two.
to me.
If they're going to pay for it with freed up tax dollars, I
Right.
have a moral obligation at this point to make sure they know about it.
Exactly.
So,
Okay, Daryl.
so question, Corey. I just want to know, is there one question? Amaze Health, do they all the stuff that you was explaining about the 150 for additional benefits, the $3,000 cash, 750, I forgot what 750 was about. Do that explains that on their website?
No, that's actually not associated with Amaze at all. So Amaze
Oh.
Health is the wellness program. The benefits are real insurance products, right? The tax dollars that are freed up are created by participating in the wellness program. So we use the freed up tax dollars to purchase what protects them in the event that any of those things happen. The wellness program of Maze Health is the health care that they're going to be paying for, a copay that's going to go on their insurance, causing their rates to increase. Every angle Amaze has come up with to keep you out of the hospital and out of the doctor's office. If you forget you have Amaze Health, they geo-fenced every hospital, urgent care facility, x-ray facility in the country. So when you cross into the parking lot, it dings your phone and there's a doctor right there to see if it truly is an emergency and if they can keep you out of the emergency room. Because the average cost in the United States of emergency room visit is what? $2,200. So they're going to coordinate with your health insurance that you do have. The employees will upload that insurance. So when Amaze Health reaches out to them, they're already informed about what kind of insurance they have, if they've met their out of pocket yet, if what their deductible is, what their copay is. And when they get on the phone, they're going to say, hey, you know, in our professional opinion, the sprained ankle is not an emergency, but based on your location, there's an x-ray facility 3 blocks from you that you'll only pay $150 out of pocket for. You got an accident policy that's going to pay you, you know, $250, $300 for the fracture or for the sprain or for the doctor visit. So that's no cost to you, but you do what you want to do. We're just here to advise you and price and quality, or quality and price source the appropriate care, since you have to go outside of a virtual environment. That's huge.
Does that employee, for that $2,200 visit for average health insurance participant, right? Do those employees actually pay the whole $2,200, or is that what their insurance covers?
It could be a variety of things. That's just the average cost of an emergency room visit in the United States, whether you have insurance or not.
So competing with Amaze Health has there are smaller fees, and I can concur with that. They're very discounted fees. So would they be compete? So there's no competition with the traditional route of health insurance, correct?
Right. They're not competing with any healthcare providers or anything. They just want the end user to have the most appropriate response to what they're dealing with in their health.
Okay. So the price, I was talking more of the price. The price is no competition with traditional health insurance. Because I'm trying to see, there's no net cost, okay, and all that stuff. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, the money that they're using to fund the wellness program and the voluntary benefits, I explain it this way. If I'm doing an enrollment too. So right now, you're paying this amount of money to the federal government. I don't know how it's going to benefit you. I'm sure it will. I don't know if it's going to stay in this country or leave this country. That's not up to me. But right now, you're presented with the choice of retaining just a small portion of it, and you get to decide how it impacts you, your family, your community. One way, you get something for it. The other way, you get something for it, you just never see what it is. What do you want to do?
Right.
And Corey, we talked about this the other day. The Affordable Care Act. This was what was this 2014? 2014, 2013 when this was passed.
2020. Well, there's
2020.
one in 2015, one in 2017. It depends on which event we're talking about.
So we can, I mean, even we just go back 10 years and a company's been in business 10 years. Someone has 100 employees, you know, we're saving them $63,000 on average annually. But if you multiply that by 10 years, Mr. Customer, you spent over $639,000 that you did not have to spend simply because you didn't know that this was available.
That's right.
So Corey, question. The Affordable Care Act, this legislation that they wrote in the Affordable Care Act, it doesn't expire, right? So we sign them up. This is duration due the time of the Affordable Care Act, which I don't think is going anywhere, but it doesn't expire, right?
Well, I never even really mentioned the Affordable Care Act. The fact is that this is a cafeteria plan. Section 125 has been around since the 70s. We're just integrating
Oh,
a
okay.
wellness program. And
Oh,
the
okay.
the voluntary benefits, the Affordable Care Act is what enables everyone to have the offering and everyone to be able to participate. Everyone is accepted by the insurance carriers.
So it was launched back when it was the 125 cafeteria plan. So that was back in the 70s, right?
Exactly.
So that was back in the 70s. So around 2010 or 2014, the Affordable Care Act allowed us to really took it.
Access it.
Say it again.
Access it.
Right.
Access
So
the
it allows
plan,
us to
right?
access it. Is that correct? So
That's right.
So I'm just trying to use that as leverage in the sales process. I mean, in the presentation process to allow the customers to see, because like you said, we have to create the problem, and the problem has actually been going on for the last 10 years, if you want to look at it in hindsight or so, and that you've been spending this $63,000, which is now $639,000 that you did not have to spend.
Right.
Is that safe to do it that way?
Sure it is, if that's what the employer's concern is. But to give them information they didn't ask for is to deviate away from their problem,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So I need to figure out what their specific problem is first and label them with it so that I remember throughout that whole conversation what it is we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because deals are not lost over what you do say or don't say. They're lost over what you do say. If they, have had a bad experience with the IRS, and anytime anyone ever says taxes, they jump through a window to stay away from it, you're not going to have a successful conversation. But if you're engaged in conversation with them and it is question and answer based, and you're asking them things like, or when they say, well, I just want to make sure this is compliant, ask a question. Sure, no problem. When it comes to compliance, what's important to you? Now they're going to tell me whatever it is that I need to move them forward.
Hey Corey, that good old chat bot that you had that gave you the answers, and it was asking how did you get it to answer the questions you need? Did you program that in, or how did it? Because you asked the question, it was asked a question about the discussion about workplace wellness, and it's a
Right.
good, I know it's a good practice tool for us. How do we access it and to start asking us the question so we can practice?
I'm going to send you Mo the link and y'all can distribute it, Mo. But yeah, I had to build a data set that the bot grabs information from and generates a response with.
Okay.
Excellent. So if
Which
there's
is
some,
I had a question. You don't want a robot coming up with the answers in regard to taxes, the IRS, and insurance.
Was there another question? Was there another question?
Yeah, from Dean Stewart.
Hey, Dean.
Hey,
Hey,
good
Dean.
evening. Hey, good to hear you.
Yeah.
Again. Hey, I wanted to confirm, when you run into a potential client that has union employees, is it the phrase is correct to say they need a collective bargaining agreement?
Right. If they have a collective bargaining agreement, then it's doable, but there's several pieces that need to come into place there. So
I could imagine. Okay. And then is it
that's the
profitable?
information you need to get.
Okay. Is it profitable to move forward with union or no?
Absolutely. You'll be
Okay,
in
cool.
profit to move forward with a union. It'll pay you more than you had before, but not near as
Okay.
much had they not had a collective bargaining agreement.
Okay. I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we're over the hour now, guys. So we're like 14 minutes over the hour. Corey, thank you so much for joining us on this call and teaching us all the things that you've come out to teach us. I think we've got a pretty good grasp on everything. There's some people on this call tonight that's not with our company, that's not with our team. Okay, this is an opportunity for you all to join our team. If you haven't joined the team, whoever invited you to this call, go back to them and ask, how do I get on your team? So you can have access to the same programs that we have, okay? So, yeah, so just ask your person that invited you and get on the team, get started, okay? If you came out on one of my pages, just get on my team and or one of the members, it doesn't matter. But get involved. You do not want to miss this opportunity. Corey, thank you so much.
Get off,
Say it again.
absolutely, absolutely. Before we get off, I'll give everybody an actionable item. And if you do this right after this call, you increase the likelihood that you're going to make it happen. Okay. When you get off the call, create the unreasonable equation for yourself. The first thing you should do is ask yourself, how much time am I willing to spend every day? Not, you can't make it stressful. You got to make it reasonable enough that you will actually do it. And then how many calls can I make during that time? Out of that many calls every day, what's a reasonable equation? How many can I close? If you can close 1 out of 10, you know that to get 10, you need to call 100 people.
Yep.
100 people.
Assume that everybody else is better at it than you are, and assume that they all got the good leads and they scraped over everything that's going to say yes right off the bat. And then assume it's going to be harder for you, and assume it's going to take longer. But create that unreasonable equation for yourself so that you know that if you do this and I do not quit, I cannot lose. Fair enough?
That's right. That's right. And just keep chugging at it. Thank you so much. That's good inspiration. And we're gonna post Corey's number and phone number and email in the on the Sequoia page. Once again, if you have not joined our company, you have not got with Sequoia, this is the time for you to link with whoever invited you to the call. Alan, did you have anything that you want to share with the team before we go?
Hey Mo, good to see you. Good to see the team. Good to see everybody. Hey, thank you so much,
Good to
Corey.
see you.
Hey, good to see you guys. Good to see you. I'm just being a student right here, listening to Corey and try to learn this program as much as I can. But again, I mean, Corey already said it right. So action is the most important thing. So guys, give yourself a goal. Not by the end of the year, not by the end of the quarter, but by the end of the month. September to today, September 13th. By September 30th, how many calls can you make? How many people can you bring in? So again, action is the most important thing. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna have our after hours for maybe like 10 minutes or so. But for this call, once again, guys, thank you for joining our Friday night huddle. We're here every Friday. Don't forget about our Wednesday training that's coming up, and as well as our Thursday trainings as well. So make sure you plug into all of the trainings and make sure you get on the team. Once again, I'll see each and every one of you all at the top. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Take care, folks.
Thank you.
Hi, Corey.
Thank